Call the meeting to order. So everybody had a chance to review last month's minutes. Make a motion to approve them.
I'll make that motion.
Second. A motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Public comment for items on the agenda. Right over to you, Matthew.
Y'all sign in, is that sheet still?
Yeah.
Have a whole lot to update you all on as far as program updates. Basketball season in the older leagues wraps up Thursday night with our 3 older league championship games out at Cherokee High School. It's always a good event. I'm grateful for Cherokee letting us have it out there. Kids love it. It's different for the players because they're playing on that huge court. That's unlike what they've been playing on. So the game's a little different for them, but it's worth it to have, you know, that nice facility and play in that big gym with big crowds and make an event out of it. We've got 1 or 2 nights next week for the Tinies and the Pee-wees to wrap up their regular season, but then we're pretty well past basketball and got our sights set on baseball and softball, which started registration on Friday. We'll run that for about 3 weeks. I've gotten Dick's Sporting Goods to sponsor our programs again this year. I think they give us like $500 worth of equipment and that's set up. I'll send out an email if anybody needs gear or anything from Dick's Sporting Goods. March, I believe it's 7th and 8th. 10% off anything in the store with our coupon, and they track the use of that. So the more people that use it, the more incentive they have to keep doing that and potentially to give us more. So we're sending it out to all of our basketball, baseball, flag. I mean, anybody that's associated with our program, we'll post it on Facebook. We send it to soccer. So just share that as much as possible. I'll get into, like the basketball, we're making preparations for that area all-star tournament, which is that same weekend. And I made sure I could do this, but we're going to give it out there to all the teams from Marshtown and Greenville and Cobb County as well. Welcome. So hopefully we'll have a lot more people use it. That's the key, and they want us to use it. Yeah, baseball, softball's right around the corner. Our maintenance guys have been busy working on the fields, and ready. I know the school ball teams have. Well, baseball has started using it. I'm sure softball in another week, 2 weeks.
After the state tournament, half of mine play basketball. So.
Just looking forward to being outside, the weather changing. And then as far as community events, we've not had a whole lot. We did Family Feud in January. That was a good event, good time. We got a trivia night planned for March 14th. But starting after that, we'll start kind of trying to program more outside. That youth athletic training that we did back in the fall, we're going to try that again. Probably once I'm comfortable that the weather has turned for the most part, shooting for the end of March, first of April.
The younger kids,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, that's where the kids that did that back in the fall, it really helped.
Yeah.
And Neil does it. I really like having our fitness classes, having a variety of them, and you know, we'll continue doing the Moving You, which is seeing, I don't know, 8 to 10 to 12 people coming once a week. With so many things going on in the building between Music Junction and rentals, there's just not a lot of nights available to program inside. So that's what we like about spring, summer, and fall. We can still do things up at the stage or you know, throughout the park. That's not really sports, not really, you know, our athletic programs. So we'll get on to that. As far as grant updates, you know, in new business, you'll see I've got approval to seek bids for pickleball court construction. City crews have been up there last couple of weeks and have done a great job. A couple of sections of the fence around the tennis courts have been taken down. They've gotten all the asphalt up. It's down to just gravel and dirt inside there. All, you know, it's almost a clean slate now to start building from scratch from. So I'm looking for approval from you all to seek bids. Hopefully, put it out for advertisements next week. To rebuild it. That'll include the tree work. There's 10 big trees around those courts. I wanted to try to do that ourselves, make that its own bid, but for grant requirements, it's easier just to put that in the overall construction bid. Something about, if we did it ourselves, any potential bidders would have to be part of SAM something, some kind of federal contracting thing. So if it's under a general contractor, they can still seek bids from the local tree people. So that'll include the tree work, the paving, the sports surfacing, the installation of the new nets. And then after that, we'll have to do another round of, depending on what the potential cost is, quotes or bids to put that fence back up. And we've saved the chain link and hose so we can reuse that. Our guys could take it down, but they will probably need help putting it back up.
So one general contractor will be and he'll then just sub out.
It's about everything.
Paving and
Just, yeah, paving. Very little.
Is the lights already set, or is that gonna be?
Lights.
Yeah.
We've not touched the lights. They're,
That's not part of the
no.
grant.
And it's not, nothing we've done affects the lights. It's not, we didn't have to reroute any of the wires or
Oh,
that.
okay.
Went
So you
around
should,
it.
I mean, should
So
be.
we can
good to
still
go.
address that. I mean, they're still non-operational at the moment. We'll get to that once we get our courts up and running.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing we're doing has any impact on the lights right now. We've taken the horseshoe pits up there so we could work. There was a little hut there that stored tennis nets and windscreens. We've torn that down. And so once the fence is back up and we have playable pickleball courts, then we'll start, you know, landscaping some around it, you know, replacing those trees that get cut down, and they're going to take the roots or the stumps out. Then we'll have to come in and build ADA access up to it, a little pathway, which we can do that ourselves. Mind you, all this is with that CDBG grant. That is like a 88% funded grant. Well, city matches 12% of it. We pay it all up front, but we get reimbursed 88% back. So it's a heck of a deal to,
Is it on completion of the project? So how that, yeah.
well, I say that, I'm not real sure.
Yeah.
There could be steps along the way, but
And then checks and balance, I guess, yeah.
like once you get this done, if we wanted to send a bill, but I would say, this is just me guessing, being one general contractor, like we've really not spent a dime yet on it. All the work we've done has been in-house. It's probably gonna be almost a turnkey project for that. So, once we get pickleball course done, I'd say we could submit that reimbursement and go ahead and
We'll let
get that reimbursement on its way back to us to help pay for
The next.
the paving and the sidewalks that's coming at the end of towards the end of the year. So yeah, it's just with that kind of project, I was looking for official approval from you all to go ahead and put that out next week. And our goal is to have sealed bids come back for next month's meeting that we can open. If not, if we don't get that in time, we may have to do a special call meeting towards the end of March just to open bids. But depending on the timeline, and Joe Parrott's been doing all the designs, and I think they're pretty well ready to go out next week. So that's what I'm shooting for, is to open them at our March meeting.
I'll make a motion for the approval for the city board to seek bids for the pickleball court construction.
Got a motion, got a second.
I'll second
Motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
it. Aye.
Is this approved? No. Alright.
Next, I'm seeking approval to get some quotes for other tree work around the park. Like I said, my original plan was to just include all this tree work into one
Yeah.
big bid in of itself, and have the companies separate, this is the cost for the grant related trees around the tennis courts, which is the bulk of, because those are 80-foot tall monsters. Other trees are just around the ball fields that are creeping in over into the playing area, covering up some of the field lights, which does, hinder visibility and creates a safety hazard. We have one that's hanging over the pool area, putting needles and pine needles into the pool. And then there's a dead tree on the outside of Field 5, the senior league field. That's it's our tree, but it's completely dead. And if it falls, it'll fall into the health department's parking lot. So I'd like to just get quotes to get somebody in there to do some tree trimming and take that one tree out. So I don't know if that's, I don't know if formal motion approval's needed, but it won't hurt.
I'll make a motion.
Got a motion.
Yeah.
Second.
I'll second it.
Motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Is this approved? No.
Other than that,
What's the latest on the playground equipment?
we are still on track. Last I've heard, the last week of March or the first week of April is kind of our timeline of having it in. And then once it's delivered, installation crews will be on site waiting on it, and we'll start immediately. So it shouldn't take them.
Are they gonna install it, or
Yeah.
both, or they are?
Yeah, Cunningham Rec is the company we went with. They sell Game Time product. That's Game Time's the brand. And then they have their installers who they kind of contract out to. But when we reviewed the playground bids, installation was included in each of the bids. So they're using professional playground installers.
I got you.
I remember.
Who's gonna take down the old equipment, or you all, or is that part of the
We'll do
process?
that. I'm gonna leave. I thought about while I had, the Mini X the city owns at the park, I thought about going ahead and taking the swings out. That's the two swing sets are the only two pieces coming out in the sandbox, but that's just scraping the sand
Yeah,
out. I mean, that's
yeah.
nothing. I thought about going ahead and doing that, but we was up there one day and, it was starting to get nice, and I'm like, if we have a few nice days here, like we did last week, and it's 70 degrees, and at the end of February or through March, kids are really gonna miss those swings. So Mark Morley's like, just call me. Taking those swings out won't take an hour, really.
Yeah.
So we'll do that probably just a couple of days before the new equipment's delivered. Just, there's really not much else. Swings are obviously the most popular playground piece in there, so I don't want to take it out a month and a half before something else goes back in, so we'll wait on that. That's all I've got.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.